What's up guys, I'm Nico of Camcrunch, and in this video I'm going to teach you guys how to plug your Zoom H1 straight into your Canon DSLRs or any DSLRs or cameras with a 3.5mm mic input for that matter, in order to record your audio straight into your camera rather than recording externally with the Zoom H1 and then syncing it up in post. Because when you're working on long files or when you're working on a lot of things, sometimes it's better to simplify your workflow, and this little step can really save you some time, especially when you're working on long projects. Also, the quality is a little bit different because you're using the camera's preamp rather than the one built into the Zoom H1, which is better. The preamp on the Zoom H1 is better, but the quality difference isn't that big, and if the audio is good enough for you, then this really can save you some time and some effort when you're doing your video projects. So here it is. To do this, you will need, of course, your Zoom H1 handy recorder, you'll need your Canon DSLR, and you will need a 3.5mm to 3.5mm cable in order to plug your Zoom H1 into your Canon DSLR. The first thing you'll do is you plug in your 3.5mm cable into your camera's mic input, and then you plug the other end of that into the line out of the Zoom H1, which is also the headphone cable. If you want to plug your Zoom H1 on top of your camera, you'll need one of these adapters, which is sort of a hot shoe adapter, and then it's got your 1/4-inch mount on top to screw in the tripod mount on the bottom of your Zoom H1. After that, you're pretty much set. Now you just have to set the settings on your camera as well as on your Zoom H1. What you want to do is set your camera's audio recording into manual mode, and then you set the gain up to one level above the lowest setting. That way you don't get too much gain from the camera itself, and you're relying on the Zoom H1 for the actual gain to record the voice, because the quality that comes from the Zoom H1 is better, so you don't want to use that camera's preamp too much. Depending on what camera you use, you're going to have to change the gain input level on the Zoom H1 in order to get the right settings. When I use it on my Fuji X-E1, I actually have to put the gain much lower because I guess the settings on the camera are much louder than on the Canon DSLR. But on the Canon DSLR, I typically use an input level of around 60 to 65. So that's it guys, that's how I plug in my Zoom H1 straight into my Canon DSLR. And what you're hearing right now is actually a Zoom H1. It's on top of my Canon DSLR, and that's how I'm recording the audio. So that just sort of gives you an idea of the quality that you get out of your Zoom H1 plugged into your Canon DSLR. If this video helped you out, please give this video a thumbs up, favorite the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.